In this video, I'm going to give you a quick run through of how to prepare your data ready for import into the system. I will also give you some ideas and tips to make sorting and managing of the data once it's in the system a lot easier. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to download a spreadsheet so that we can put all our contacts into the correct format for importing. So to do that, if we go up to here and click on Contacts, and then click Add Contact, and then Import Data. So this is the route you would take to bring the data in once you've got it onto the spreadsheet. Just here you can download the example template, and you'll see that downloading now. Once that's downloaded, we open this up into our spreadsheet program. Okay, now that we've got the spreadsheet loaded up, we can see in here we've got the first line here which has all the column headers. This line's ignored by the system, but it tells us where the data needs to be put in. The first column, column A, which is there, has an ID in there. That's associated by the system, so it can be ignored at this stage. Column B, which is the email column, is the most important column of all. The reason why is the system will deduplicate your data based upon email address. So you could have two John Smiths, but as long as they had separate email addresses, it will bring them in. If it doesn't, it will flag up as a duplicate. It's also the column where we experience most of the issues around import, because this is where we found most people have mistyped an email address. They'll put a space in there, there'll be a dot missing, or there'll be some very, very simple errors which at this stage it's easy to thumb through and identify, and as I say, we'll head off a lot of the areas later on. As you can see, there are several other columns, many of which are optional to fill out. So one of the key ones I'd recommend filling out is first name, company name and phone number. The reason for this is it gives you the options to put some personalisation in there, and you also know how to do the follow-up phone call to them if necessary. The next column I'd definitely recommend filling in is the categories column. The reason why is this is your opportunity to be able to sort and refine your data past any of these other fields that are listed here and beyond. So typically some of the things you can put in there, it'd be quite nice to be able to sort perhaps if you have multiple sales teams on the salesperson they're working with, or maybe then you can look at maybe the networking you event them at, or particular products and services they've purchased in the past. You can put multiple categories in there, just simply use a comma and a space to separate them, and it will make sorting your data a lot simpler when you're using the system later on. As we scroll through, you can see there's several other columns in there, everything from identifying whether the person's been a past customer through to date of birth, contract renewal dates. But one of the key ones to note here is this column here, which is the unsubscribes. Many people would wonder, why would we want to import some data that somebody's already unsubscribed? Well, that's the key thing. We don't want to be adding the data again and sending out to them when they've already unsubscribed from you. So this is the point here where you can identify them. So you can either put in a Y or a 1 in that column, and that will put them into the system but won't allow you to send out to them in the future. Okay, the final thing to note is this, which is the custom columns. You'll note 10 of these where you can put any data you like into there, so that isn't restricted by type. So you can put dates, you can put notes in there. It will all go into those free flow information and be imported straight into the custom section of your contacts area. Okay, now that we've updated the spreadsheet, all we need to do is to save it and then import it back into the system via the import button, which I showed you where we downloaded the spreadsheet from earlier. Hopefully that's covered most of the questions you'd have around preparing your data for import. If you have any others, please feel free to give us a call. Our number should be up on screen now. Otherwise, happy emailing.